Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson. So in this one, in the final one, we're going to finish our game and we're going to clean it up a little bit to make it look better and improve it. So the idea, when you design a program, whether you write a code for a program or you are making a game, the first thing you do is you build the logic of the game, and then after that you expand on that. So obviously what we've been doing so far is that we've been just building the logic of our game. Now it's time to actually expand on it. All right, so you can access the files in the resources section, the complete and also the starter file. I recommend you to go with the starter file, and then you can actually either go through the problems and try to solve them. Obviously the learning curve is incredibly important. You want to make sure that you try to solve these by yourself to learn. That's the number one thing, right? That's why we do all these practices. So with that being said, make sure you go ahead and actually fork that file. Okay, when you fork it, you're gonna land on something like this, and you have a bunch of problems to solve. Now, if you actually take a look, we have something a little bit different. So we have, beside the main file, if you look at the file structure, beside the main file, we have a couple of different files. We have an art file, which is essentially, all the arts that we have here in a separate file. The idea with this is to just keep your code clean so we can pull information from this. And we've talked about exactly how we pull information from this. We use the import module to just, pull these variables to our main code essentially. So that's something. And also we have the word list, same thing, because obviously, right now we got a couple of words here, right? These are just obviously they're gonna get boring pretty quick, and also we know these words, but we got a long word list here which you can use to really, make it more interesting. So that's something that you want to import as well. So let's go ahead and talk about these things that you got to do, your tasks. So the first thing is you want to update the code so it uses the words pi. That's essentially these words, all right? Instead of the simple list, and delete the word list. So we're going to get rid of this, right? And we're basically going to import the word list from the words file. So that's number one. So let's go ahead and take a look at the number two. Same thing for the number two. We're going to import the art from artpy, which is right here. And we're going to fix this error, because right now we have this error because we deleted the stage files, right? The ASCII files, essentially ASCII arts. So when we import that, we should fix this. That's the second task that you're going to do. The third one is import the logo. So again, same thing. We're going to import the logo, another task, very simple, right? And number four, let's take a look at the number four. There you go. If the user enters a letter they've already used, print a message and let them know. Again, this is just a reminder, you're not taking any lives out, just a reminder that, hey, you've already used this, maybe use something else, so something like that. And number five, finally, is that if the letter is incorrect, print a letter and let them know. Again, just you want to provide a message, a feedback to let them know that, okay, you entered the wrong letter. So that's pretty much it, so that is pretty much it. And also one more thing, another problem that I will talk about later on as when we finish this, but so far that's all you got to do. Just go ahead and again fork this file and try to start working on these practices and these tasks and try to get them done. And yeah, so I'm gonna just pause for a second. So just pause the video and come back to this when you're finished working on this. All right, so hopefully you try to, solve this by yourself. As I said, it's very important to do that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and code this out. All right, so I'm gonna open this, keep this file structure open in case, well, actually we'll just leave it closed for now. We're fine. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is fix this, right? So update the word list. So I'm just going to get rid of this word list real quick. Well, actually, I'm going to import the file first. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to import and there are a couple ways to import. So we're going to import, for example, words, right? So that's one way to do it. But one of the things that you can do to just keep your imports cleaner is that you can import specific variables from other Python files. So in this case, I'm going to say from words import word list. So the idea with this is that, you know, we are going to just like, you know, import this specific variable that we need instead of just importing the whole thing, right? So, and now we're just going to get rid of this, and just like that, the first problem is solved. All right. So that's pretty much it. You know, we don't have to replace any you know, any variables or change anything or anything like that, because if we actually import using the original, like you just simply import it, we have to actually replace these variables. So that's gonna make it a little bit hard. So that's that. So let's go to task number 2, and that is pretty much the same thing if you think about it, right? So we're going to say, and again, make sure it's on the same level. I'm going to say from art import stages. Here we go. So now that error is fixed. Perfect. So let's go ahead and take a look at the number 3. So number 3 is, again, same thing. We're going to import a logo. So let's go ahead and do that as well. From art import logo. And I'm going to actually print this. So like that's the first thing that people will see when they open the program. So we're just going to print the logo. Cool. So that's that. And let's go ahead and take a look at the number 4. So number 4 is actually, and 5 are important ones. All right. So again, the idea with this is that we want to let them know if they've already entered a letter. So how do we do that? The first thing, indentation is everything. So make sure you remember that. Do not forget indentations. All right. So I'm going to say, you know, if guess, that's the user guess, right? In display, that's the list, right? We're going to say print f. We're going to use an f string. That's fine. F string. You've already entered and guess. Let's close that off. There you go. So basically, just like that, if they enter the same thing they've already used, we're going to say, hey, you've already entered that. Very simple, right? So let's look at the number 5. And number 5 again is kind of the same. It's just the opposite side of this, right? So for number 5, we're going to say, just print a message, right? Print. We're going to say, well, and we're going to use f string again. You entered guess. And this is again where the guess is wrong, right? So we're going to use you enter the guess that's not in the word, you lose a life. Very simple, right? So just like that, we've fixed the number 5 issue, and that should be it. We're good to go. So one more thing, let's actually take a look at this. Let's run it. Just make sure it works. All right. So let's run this and let me take a look. There you go. So we've got our logo. And also we got our hint here. We're going to get rid of this in a second. But random word is whatever that is. Megahertz. All right. So we're going to say M. All right. So that's cool. You entered the right one. Cool. And let's enter the wrong ones. Let's G, for example. There you go. Oh, actually it is in there. X. There you go. So you entered X, that's not in the word, you lose a life. Perfect. So our, whatever we've added so far works, right? So yeah, so just like that, you know, and let's make sure that, you know, it works. There you go. There you go. So we are out of lives, and the hangman is, you know, completed. So just like that, we cleaned up the file. We're now pulling that, you know, like graphics, all the arts from the art file. So that way we're not, you know, wasting our time, like making our code too big, you know. So that makes it a lot cleaner. So that's, yeah, that's pretty nice, you know. So that is pretty much it. One more thing I want to talk about, which is very important to just like, it's just for my own sake really, is that, you know, if you think about it right now, if you run the code, one of the things that can happen, we just run this one more time. So if you run the code, for example, you know, let's say X, okay? Now every time we enter something, this is going to add like something to the menu. You know, add like it's gonna add like a log here, and it's gonna build a log. For example, if I do this, I see it just starts building a log, and it's not really cool. It's not really user friendly, right? So one of the things we can do is we can actually add a command, very simple one, to automatically clean this as we enter something. All right, so the way you do this is that you want to import the OS method. All right, so I'm going to say import OS. So that's that. And what you want to do is you want to go under this section that where we ask for the user's guess right here. And under the guess, we're going to say, let's make sure we indent it correctly, os.system, and we're gonna do clear. And when you do this, this automatically cleans it. Now let's take a look at this. Let's clean it up and let's actually run this one more time. There you go. Funny, that's a simple word. So if I run this, there you go. See, now it's clean. Now it's not like building a log, right? So there you go. There you go. See, it's now clean. X, you entered X. That's not in a word. You lose a life. So just like that, guys. There you go. Fun and Y. There you go. Funny, you win. There you go. See, guys, now our game is actually clean. It doesn't build a log and it just doesn't get too cluttered and confusing. So just like that, that's the end of this program, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know, if there's anything that you're stuck with. And as always, you can access the files in the resources section. And, make sure you practice this. That's very important. And make sure to watch the videos again if you had a problem understanding any portion or any part of this development that we did on this particular game. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next videos and next lessons.